Hi there guys, my name is Paul,
I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Luke.
and we're the three directors of Walking Tree Travel, and today we're going to give you some answers to our FAQs that are on our website and in our catalog.
Without question, safety is our primary concern when designing an itinerary. It's something we evaluate both from afar and on the ground in the country that we're going to be traveling to.
Yeah. If we don't feel absolutely comfortable about a place, we're just not going to go there. We only make sure that we bring our participants to destinations and communities that we feel very, very comfortable with.
Definitely, and we have country directors in each of these countries, so we're always getting constant updates on kind of safety issues, weather issues, everything, down to kind of minute details.
I think on average we'll spend up to 2 years planning a particular program, so we're really attuned to safety issues in a given country or community, and like Gabriel said, if we don't feel comfortable with it, we simply won't go there.
The vaccinations or immunizations required to travel to our destinations are essentially the same things that most people have just to go to private or public school in the United States.
Obviously, I think if there's any vaccination required for a particular destination country, we'll let the family know. But outside of that, like Gabe says, it's the standard booster series that the students need to attend school here in the States.
Then at the same time, we always recommend you check with your local travel clinic before leaving. That just gives you the most up-to-date information and kind of more broad overview of what you need.
And this segues nicely into the talk about malaria. We get that question quite a bit, if malaria is a consideration. And you're going to look at a map of some of our countries and you'll see that there is malaria, for example, in parts of China. That said, we don't go to those parts of China, so to go to that program, you don't need to have malaria prophylactic.
But it's something we always leave up to each individual participant. We know a lot of families have different kind of varying degrees of, safety measures, and it's something where normally our participants don't take malaria medication in most of our programs. But if you want to, that's your choice.
I think the advice to consult your local, your personal family physician as well as your local travel clinic is really the way to go.
The big exception here is Senegal. Senegal, it is a consideration, and we do ask that our participants take malaria prophylactic, and it comes in a lot of different forms, and usually it's just a pill a day, and it's not so bad, it's easy to get, but that is the one country where we think that all participants should be aware of the situation.
And the three of us are more than happy to walk families through the different malaria options, because like Gabe said, there are a number of different medications available.
Yeah, we've had all sorts of different dietary restrictions with our students on these programs, everything from wheat allergies to vegetarians to vegans, and that's something we can accommodate in all of our countries.
Absolutely. I think the point here is that it's very important for families to be upfront with us before travel, so that our staff and our leaders are well aware of the students' special dietary needs. Our experience has taught us that travel can certainly be unpredictable. And so, a consideration of a travel insurance policy, I think, is both practical and wise. There's many options out there, and it can be kind of difficult to sort through all the options. So we're more than happy to give you a couple recommendations of companies that we've had good experiences with, and kind of set you off on a good path.
We actually wait until the program is actually in the country before we assign our Hope Safe families. This is because we really want to get to know each student on an individual basis, so that we can kind of cater their home state to what their interests are, kind of what they want to get out of the trip. For example, if we have a student in our programs that loves soccer, we can kind of place them with a home state family that might have a son or daughter that loves soccer as well.
Yeah, and we could understand that as a family or as a participant, it may be frustrating to not know the details of your host family until you arrive in country. But as Paul mentions, it really gives our leaders a chance to get to know our students on a one-on-one basis, and then take into consideration what we know about our families to make the placement as good and as good of a fit as possible. The selection process for our host families is a meticulous one. Our in-country staff will visit with a family 2, 3, up to a half a dozen times before the student is actually placed. So we're well aware of every person that lives in that home. We have detailed information about that family. We don't have the capacity in these foreign countries to do background checks, but we do our due diligence in researching these families. The nice thing is that many of our host villages have hosted previous groups from Walking Tree, and so many of the families that our students are placed with have had experience with our students, are well aware of our rules, our expectations, and how best to provide a warm and comfortable experience for the kid.
These are amazing families. I'm incredibly warm, open, really excited about having our students in the home. A lot of them have little kids in the household, almost all of them actually.
Most do.
And that really does give our students a really good way to kind of practice the language skills that they want to get out of the program and really just get into the culture and the immersion aspect of it.
Obviously, many students who travel with us are very interested in the service component of our trip. And so we take great care to make decisions regarding our service projects. One of the most important things we do is meet with local villagers in the planning process. I think it's really important that the project we complete has practical use for the village and that they're invested in the experience as well.
Yeah, basically we meet with the kind of the leaders of the village, and that changes in each situation, but we talk with them, we see what the community has been looking to do for a while that maybe we can help out with, or something that they really want to participate with also, because we want our students working on the service project, but we want members of the community also coming out and working alongside of us, so we're speaking French, or we're speaking Mandarin or Spanish, and working together with the community for a common goal.
And these are pretty major projects. I mean, a lot of our programs we do up to 100 hours of service. So we do everything from building, 2-mile-long sidewalks in some communities for handicapped students to putting in ramps, putting in latrines, putting in new classrooms. A lot of building projects, painting projects.
And it doesn't always necessarily rotate around construction. For example, in Senegal, we work with malaria prevention, reforestation projects in Guatemala and Peru. So again, it's really determined by the needs of the village, not so much our parameters. And I think a common denominator amongst all of our leaders is this desire to expose students to genuine international experiences. And I think all of us really share that passion, and that, regardless of background, is what really brings our leadership team together.
Mm-hmm. Further, we just actually got back from a training in Colorado. Every year we fly our entire staff to the mountains, and we get together for a long weekend, and we train them as best we can for the job, and we learn a lot from them, and we have a lot of fun together also. And we just got back, and I feel amazing about our team right now.
Definitely.
A lot of people wonder, how can we make someone who's never been out of the country feel comfortable traveling with us? And we're in frequent contact with anyone who applies. We send a variety of updates about the country, just some things to consider about culture shock and traveling for the first time, suggested packing lists, all of this stuff so that we can get our participants and families really ready for the program. So if it is your first time, we'll try to make that as enjoyable and comfortable for you as possible.
Yeah, it's a really good point. We do take care in preparing our students for the international experience. I also find that a lot of the students have been abroad before, but only with families, with their own families. So I think many students, although they've traveled abroad before, this might be the first time they've traveled on their own with a group of strangers, really in an immersion environment. And I
Doing
think that's
homestays.
Exactly. I think that's what's unique about Walking Tree.
Yeah, for every one of our groups, we have at least one male and one female leader, and our groups are usually around 15 students. That being said, some of our programs even have more leaders than that. Some have 3, some have a media guide with them as well, who does a lot of video work and things like that. So we try to keep it to around 15 students for a minimum of 2 leaders, one male and one female.
We encourage, if you know you want to travel with us, we encourage applying as soon as you can. This is so, one, you can have your first choice. This will be your destination of choice and, of course, your timeline of choice. As you'll see, we have a variety of different programs just going to Costa Rica or Peru, for example. So if you apply early, you'll likely get into your first choice.
We have had waiting lists in the past, though, so that's a really good point. So definitely apply the sooner the better. We try to do cutoffs around March 20th. Sometimes that's not always possible, but definitely the sooner you apply, the better.
Absolutely. Friends are more than welcome to travel in the same program. I think we mentioned earlier that having this experience abroad on your own is extremely valuable, but to travel with a friend can be an amazing experience as well. So it's something that we're more than open to. Again, it's just a matter of applying on the same program, and if there's room, we're more than happy to accommodate that desire.
What we'll do is, if we have friends and we know that they're coming down together from the same high school or something like that, usually early on we'll talk to them in the program and just say, guys, we're really excited for you to have this program together and this experience as friends, but we also ask that you don't just spend all of your time together, that you go and meet the other students and that you branch out and meet people of the local community so that you can get as much as you can out of our program.
I mean, that being said, these are really kind of everyone in our programs is sort of out of their comfort zone in some way or the other. So if you're just alone from, just you from your school, if you have friends coming with you, either way, you're going to be completely out of your comfort zone, kind of seeing new things, experiencing new things. And really becomes an impactful experience. So I wouldn't worry if you don't have any friends coming with you, but if you do, that's great.
One of the coolest things I found about our programs is, all these little divisive things that happen in high school in the United States usually fall to the wayside on a Walking Tree program, because everyone is, like Paul said, a bit out of their comfort zone and going through this experience together. So, if you play sports or if you don't play sports, it doesn't matter so much if you're a boy or a girl. If
Freshman, senior.
Yeah, from New York or California. The group bonds together and has this adventure together and grows together. And it's usually a really beautiful thing to see.
One of the really unique parts about our programs is we really want to make all of our groups very diverse, both culturally and economically. And to that end, we do give out a lot of financial aid. It's called the Local Roots Program. With this program last year, we gave out about $40,000 in aid. So it's a pretty substantial program. But the way this kind of works is we really choose the students to give aid to based strictly on economic situations, so not merit-based aid.
Yeah, we want to make sure that participants who are really eager to travel with Walking Tree have the opportunity, because we understand that our programs are out of some people's budgets. What we do is we meet with them and we walk them through the application process, which isn't very hard, and then we can usually offer a financial aid package of some sort, whether it be scholarship money or more time to pay back the tuition. We can use a few different tools to help other families participate with us.
But I think we really are dedicated to making our programs accessible to people from all economic backgrounds. When preparing for one of our programs, it's obvious that families will have a lot of questions, and so I think we did our best today to answer some of those for you. But we certainly encourage you to give us a call, write us an email, or get in touch with us to follow up on any questions you still may have. Thanks very much for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you.